So today students, let's discuss about the animals adaptation towards their abiotic situations around them. So we all know animals are able to migrate, and this migration is a movement or a concept of movement of organism from a inhospitable or unfavorable condition to the hospitable or the favorable condition. We all know, we discussed also in the junior classes that there is a world famous national park or the wildlife sanctuary, or you can say bird sanctuary, Kilado National Park or the Bharatpur wildlife sanctuary. We all know that in the Kilado National Park in Bharatpur in Rajasthan, it is a host to thousands of migratory birds every winter, and these birds come from Siberia and even from the some portion of the Siberia, it means Russia as well as China. And these birds, crane especially, these birds, they all cross Himalaya and they come to the Indian subcontinent, and they settle here for few weeks or few months, and then they raise their family here, they do the breeding concept here, increase population, and again go back by the end of the winter, go back to their homeland. So this is called as migration. Migration can be a long-term migration or a short distance migration also. So migration is basically done by organism either in the daily manner. So daily the organism may migrate and come back to its habitat, again migrate and come back to its habitat, or it is possible the organism may migrate in a particular season. And then there are some migration which are periodic. It happens every time in a cyclic manner. So there are three types of migration possible: daily migration, seasonal migration, as well as the periodic migration. Let's learn some of the example. So we all know that there are different type of fishes in water. Let's take example of salmon fish. The salmon fish is supposed to be a anadromous type of fish. Now we all know anadromous type of fish are those fish which migrate from sea to river for spawning. So when we look at their life history, the life cycle of salmon, the mother salmon is supposed to lay eggs in the river. So they go to the inland water or into the fresh water to lay eggs there. So every salmon is supposed to start its life in the fresh water. Once they are developed from these eggs, they are supposed to migrate downhill, or you can say the downstream of the river, and they reach the sea. And a salmon is supposed to live the whole life in the sea except at the time of breeding. When the time for their egg laying come, they again start migrating towards the river. So such type of fishes which migrate from sea to river for spawning are called as the anadromous type of fish. Now in the same manner we have eels. Eels are most of the eels. So most of the eels are catadromous in nature because they migrate from river to the sea for spawning. So eel is supposed to start its life in the sea as the eggs are laid there, and then once they are formed from the eggs, they are supposed to migrate into the inland water or the river, that means fresh water, and they live the whole life in the fresh water or the river water. But once again when they are supposed to go for breeding, they are supposed to go back into the sea for spawning. So such type of fish are called as the catadromous. So organisms may migrate from one area to the other area accordingly. In the same manner, we all know that there are animals which are adapted to their surrounding in a cryptic manner, which we call as the camouflage. Camouflage is the concept of disguise in which the organism is so nicely adapted to the surrounding that they are hardly visible to the organism. We all know the concept of that we have seen in the televisions also. A rat is being hunted upon by a rat snake, and that snake nicely mixes up with the surrounding. As long as the animal does not move, we can't even make out that there's a snake there. Such type of appearance is called as cryptic appearance and is called as camouflage. So some species of insects and frogs are cryptically colored, and this is done because they want to either perform hunting or to perform defense. So there are two reasons of camouflage. Camouflage is the cryptic appearance. Now it can be either for protection because the organism wants to survive. Like for example, a frog nicely mixed up with the background because a frog does not want to be hunted upon by the predator. And when we look at the other concept, there are some organisms which try to hunt upon the prey, so they will become almost invisible or mixed in the environment or the background, so that they are not located or detected by the hunt organism or the prey. And that's why they will quickly, one moment will come, they will like a flash of a second, they are supposed to be hunting, and their hunt never goes waste, so they never miss their hunt or their prey, because this type of camouflage is called as aggression camouflage. So two types are there. Protection, the camouflage can be either for protection or it could be for aggression. So accordingly, aggressive camouflage and the protective camouflage. Protective is for defense and aggressive is for hunting or for offense. In the same manner, we all know about mimicry also. Mimicry is a concept of resemblance with another organism. So one living organism resembling the other living organism is called as mimicry, and then the organism which is copying is called as mimic, and the organism which is copied is called as the model. So the organism which is trying to mimic the organism, both are living organism. So this is slightly different from the concept of camouflage. In camouflage, the organism mixes up in the background, and in this concept it is trying to copy somebody else for either for defense or for offense. That means again it is either for protection or for aggression. That means either could be mimicry, could be protective mimicry or aggressive mimicry.